What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 49 of my Total Warhammer 3 Valkia the Bloody Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Kailas Malphistire fell upon the army of Village the Curseling, whom we declared war upon the last episode. His dragon ogres destroyed Village's own monstrous army, bringing their anti-large bonus to pretty great effect, and now the road is open towards the Fortress of Eyes and Village's other territories, as well as his inevitable subjugation. Now, in terms of what do we got to do this turn, there really isn't all that much. Potentially maybe some building trading or settlement trading, but otherwise it's mostly going to just be Rel fighting Heinrich Kemmler, and then us. Unless there's something else to do here. Let me just check real quick. Yeah, and then us ending the turn. I mean, there's probably at least a few settlements that we want to trade, but we're waiting on this trade. There's, I don't even want to deal with the trades up north anymore. It's just, Oh, we've done as good a job as it's going to have, and I don't want to waste any more admin time on that sort of thing, so I think we're fine as we are. You know what? Screw it. Rel, it's time for you to attack right now. Do we want to apply some of your points for this? Frankly, I doubt you're gonna need it, but I suppose we could. Let's see. Speed and mouse will upgrade cabs, so you guys are all going to go into knights. We could keep putting points into your own personal buffs, and I don't see why not. Let's get your blade shield, let's get your wound maker. And then I guess with the next point we'll get your deadly onslaught. Let's get you some points as well. Ooh, you have an item. Glittering scales, yeah, it's not bad, I guess, for you for now, though frankly, it would probably be better used on the Chaos Sorcerer. Yeah, alright, let's swap this glittering scales out from you and put it on you. If we can find it. There we go. Evil Balefire is an exalted hero of Khorne. Yeah, it's really better off on these guys. Let's see, Chaos Sorcerer, you got 3 points available to you. Another point in Final Transmutation, should you need it, and Glittering Robe, but I think for this fight we'll just go for Scouting. We really need more items, like way more items. So, yeah. And you have Deadly Onslaught, but we can get you a Wound Maker. And I guess since you're on the Juggernaut, you could use Aura of Chaos, you could use Scarred Veteran. I mean, you're gonna get everything, so it's not gonna make much of a difference either way. Let's just get Aura of Chaos and Scarred Veteran. There we go. And good enough. How close are you to Mentor, by the way? 24. Getting there, but it'll take a while. Alrighty, now it's time to attack Kemmler. Should be a reasonably fun battle. It's a lot of zombies, to be perfectly frank, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And there we go. Yeah, decisive victory, low casualties. It is a march-stancing army, but there is a Kemmler to fight, a Krell to fight, so potentially a duel with both our Lord and Hero, and a lot of zombies to slaughter, Blood Knights to slaughter, and a Terrorgeist to have fun with. So, here we go.
Cares not from where the blood flows. Fight well. Fight or die!
Alright, here we go again. I'm really glad that this army has both an exalted hero as well as a lord, because it'll be both Kemmler and Krell that we'll want to face off against, and a couple duels wouldn't go amiss. Obviously, we're going to move our Chaos or Marauder Horsemen of Khorne forward, trying to annoy the enemy as best we can, though of course targeting units that are not zombies. Basically anything other than zombies, like the Crypt Ghouls, Terrorgeist, maybe the bats, though I don't frankly really care about the bats, but whatever. And it looks like the axes don't care much for the bats either, as they are missing, it seems, every single shot, but that's okay. And here comes the Terrorgeist moving towards the rest of our army. The enemy also foolishly charges some Direwolves directly into some Chaos Warriors of Khorne, which is not going to go well for the poor doggos. And just quickly, in terms of our formation, we've actually set up so that we have our Chaos Warriors of Khorne out front, a little bit with our units of Exalted Bloodletters of Khorne more in behind behind them as well. I just want the anchoring points to be armored, or at least a little bit more armored than the bloodletters are, which I think is probably the right thing to do. Also, I think that generally speaking, the enemy zombies might actually be a decent choice against piles of exalted bloodletters. While granted, the bloodletters are superior in every way to zombies, no doubt about it, but the fact is they'd be wasting a lot of their armor piercing on zombies, and frankly all their damage dealing on zombies as well. So it's a pretty good trade-off to tie them up. Otherwise, it looks like we're going to damage the enemy Terrorgeist with our exalted hero, who's actually done pretty okay at it as already. But we are going to back off before we get surrounded and killed by these Graveguard with great weapons and their armor piercing. Our Lord, in the meantime, is going to try to chase down Kemmler, who's waiting all the way back here behind his army, and is on a mount as well, so we'll see if we have to do some chasing to get that going. Alrighty, but here come the rest of our forces. I wish that they would stay in the relatively lighter parts of the map so that we can see exactly what was going on. But oh well. At least we can see the glow of the Hellblades that the Exalted Bloodletters all have. Oh, and the Terrorgeist is going to breathe right into the middle of one of our Bloodletter formation here, which is going to be some damage, as we saw a few of those Bloodletters decided to get banished immediately off that, and they're going to do a little bit of a duel with some of these ghouls. Also going to get a final transmutation going down right into the middle of this portion of the battle, mostly because the Terrorgeist as well as Krell are both there. Our Exalted Hero trying to hold off both of those units, and while Krell may be damaged here, Krell is also extremely scary. He has that magical melee attack with armor sundering, quite a lot of damage, and plus he has the help of that Terrorgeist, who, to be fair, is taking hits still from the Exalted Hero, though once again, the Terrorgeist does have regeneration, so it can always come back and be ready for more. Looks like our Lord has also finally found Kemmler here. Hopefully going to be able to get a few hits on him as well, though, oh, it looks like Kemmler has called some zombies to shield him, as well as his bodyguard of Crypt Horrors. That might be a little bit more difficult. That actually looks quite nice with the glow of the fiery glow of the axes in the middle of this relatively darkened copse of trees. Plus the glow of the zombies' eyes as well. No balefire coming off the Crypt Horrors, but oh well. And there we go. You guys can keep fighting while the rest of our forces hopefully destroys that of the enemy. We had to back off our Exalted Hero, unfortunately, and even pop a glittering robe on him to counteract that sundering armor, as Krell had started to dish out way too much damage when combined with that Terrorgeist. That said, the balance of power continues to move in our favor, and it looks like the enemy army is starting to get in pretty bad shape. It may not be as apparent due to the fact that there's still a lot of units with full HP, but we have to remember that it's their elites that really matter. This is a Vampire Count's army after all. So once their Terrorgeists and Krell and their Blood Knights are gone, their Blood Knights of course also at half HP, being focused down by our own Knights, plus all of our throwing axes. There we go. Which do seem to do pretty good at bringing down Knights like that. We've certainly seen them fairly effective against Bretonnian Knights. I don't see why they wouldn't be effective against Blood Knights either. Also fun to watch units fight zombies, even if it is, once again, a waste of armor piercing. There we go, Blood Knights versus Chaos Knights, and specifically the Swords of Chaos. Archaon Zone, though not with Archaon. But frankly, you know, considering who serves who at this point, that does make sense as well. Alright, and obviously not much to say on this out from a tactical perspective. Once again, just enjoying the show. The bounce power is a 90% our favor now. Krell is nearly fallen in this pile of Chaos Warriors. His melee defense is, unfortunately for him, a little bit too low. Kemmler is now once again getting away from our Lord. Those Crypt Horrors and zombies managing to hold him back. The Blood Knights are nearly dead, and it looks like the enemy army should be done very shortly. Zombies melting. Where are you, Krell? There you are, buddy. Ooh, some nice glow on everybody. Alright, and down goes Krell, and now we just have to chase down Kemmler. And it looks like the enemy Blood Knights also decided to try to charge away, but only to get hit by tons and tons of axes as well. Look at that, that volley killed a lot of Blood Knights, and it's about to kill plenty more. There we go, and our Lord has now found Krell, who is not being guarded by his Crypt Horrors or zombies. Although here come the Crypt Horrors again, a few hits into Kemmler, did I say Krell? A few hits into Kemmler and he's down to below half HP. Plus the Crypt Horrors are now open to throwing axe fire. Or throwing axes on fire, I should say. And there we go, trying to run away, Kem, but into the pile of exalted bloodletters, and it looks like the entire enemy army is banished like that. Certainly not a difficult battle, but damn, our exalted hero did come close to dying. I do wonder how much damage we actually took here, but probably can't be that much considering it was a decisive victory. And, well, frankly, most of the enemy army wouldn't have done a lot to our Bloodletters or our Chaos Warriors, but still, it should be enough, but we'll heal anyway, so it's not like that's going to make much of a difference. Alright, well the battle was obviously not that difficult, but we knew that was going to be the case. Damn, Krell is scary though, nearly killing our exalted hero of Khorne while fighting together with the Terrorgeist there. I do wonder how it would have worked out if it was Terrorgeist plus Krell versus Rel. Krell versus Rel, oh damn, I should have done Krell versus Rel. Oh, I am disappointed in myself now. I hadn't even considered it. Ugh, I sicken me. Okay, well, regardless, we're going to, I guess, heal up. I mean, we're in our own territory, so I'm gonna heal you anyway. But if we're in our own territory, it doesn't matter. You know, let's just sacrifice the captives, I guess. Alrighty. And there we go. Spell resistance plus 10% for the entire army. All those Khorne units should be pretty happy about that. Let's also move into March stance, as we are going to go as north as we can. Immediately. Ooh, wait a second. There is a Durthu here. What if we stay near Castle Baston? What if Durthu comes this way? Now there's a good chance that he'll move towards Aquitaine, and he is blocked right now, so if he keeps moving towards us, we might actually be able to fight Durthu with the Rel as well. This will mean not immediately going for this stuff up here, but, well, what can you do? Can't have everything. Now I believe that's it for what we can do this turn, so we'll skip the rest of this, so we're gonna end the turn, and we're gonna see if we can fight anywhere. Let me just double check. Why can we see this? Doesn't matter. Can we fight anywhere? Is there anywhere there's an enemy army that's close enough to possibly do some damage to us? It's not looking like it. Oh, I forgot to trade the Temple of Heimkel and the Frozen Landing back to Wintertooth, which I was gonna do. I guess we could trade them to the rats as well. Nah, but the Wintertooth needs the coastal provinces more. You know what? We'll see. We'll hold off. There may be some other trades that we can do. So yeah, let's just end the turn. And, oh, there's an ambush here as well. Yeah, there's several ambushes that could potentially get us a battle right now. Come on, Gulgas, come on, somebody. Give us what we want. Yeah, I think one of the biggest detriments of having so many vassals is the fact that so many factions still need to move at the end of the turn, whereas with various other lords, we've basically cut the numbers by half by this turn amount, so that there's like 40 enemy factions left on the field, or 40 factions left on the field, so the end turns are much quicker, but because all of our allies move, not so quick. Anyway, Grimgor. You want a peace treaty? No, buddy. No, I love you, man, but you're gonna have to die. We're going with Azag. We don't need all the orcs. And you hate us way, way too much. Aha, what did we have here? Another undead battle. Oh, well, I guess it's an undead day, and I guess we'll fight this one cinematically as well. Still a lot of zombies, but Vlad is here. There's a Mortis engine to be taken care of as well, which could present some difficulties, especially as our army isn't at full HP either. Alright, should be an interesting time. Here we go, cinematically.
None alive! Blood for the blood god! Skulls for the skull throw!
Alrighty, here we go. Day of the Dead Part 2. We faced against Kemmler, and now it's time to face Big Bad Vladdy Daddy, and he's at level 44 as well, so quite a nasty lord, though Golgast is pretty darn good himself, so I'm reasonably confident in his ability to duel the latter, though of course Vlad isn't one of the heavier hitting lords. He's more of an outlast you sort of lord, so that should be a pretty interesting dynamic there. He can heal just an insane amount between his various methods, plus he does have armor piercing as well, though we have so much armor it probably won't make a crazy amount of difference, whereas we don't really have as much healing, but we should be able to outdamage him pretty heavily, probably hitting for more than twice as much as him. Excited about that little contest. Now, in terms of what we've got of our setup here, we are moving the less damaged units, as in we are still damaged from fighting with Drake before. We're moving all of the ones that aren't hurt as much forward, led by the Aspiring Champions and the Chaos War Shrines, and of course our Chaos Sorcerer backing them up, but staying on the ground for now, as we don't want him swarmed by the Vargeists and the Terrorgeist, so he'll need the protection of the melee line. Our secondary force is going to be made up of the hurt units, and they're both going to act as reinforcements here, or if necessary, to move back and fight the second army that Vlad has brought, which is quite a bit of units actually. The Corpse Guards, fortunately, are going to take a long time to get to us, but I expect the Banshee Lord, assuming that he's on a dragon, and Vargolf to get to us pretty quick. And then of course lastly we have our units of Skinwolves and Fleshhounds, which are going to hit the enemy in the back. Hopefully those Blood Knights, they need to be killed as swiftly as possible, but not as swiftly as that Mortis engine, which is going to be the main target here. Everything, as best we can, is going to focus on the Mortis engine, as we all know how ridiculously devastating that particular unit is. And then we can work on other stuff. And a Wind of Death coming in, fortunately not bringing down any of our units, but still potentially concerning. A Fireball flying back right into the Sorcerer standing on top of the, or the Necromancer rather, which I guess is a Sorcerer, standing on top of the enemy Mortis engine. Probably not a lot of damage there, but hey, and gotta start somewhere. And our Lord and our other units are gonna focus this thing down immediately. So here we go. Ignore Vlad, go for the Mortis engine, that's our Lord. And our own Sorcerer with his Manticore is going to help out with this as well. All the magical damage that we can acquire, and speaking of acquiring magical damage, our own Lord does fire damage, but not magical, which is why we're going to have to pop that, Flaming Sword of Ruin, which imbues both fire and magical attacks on everybody here, and just like that, with that imbuement and the trophy heads lowering its melee defense down to 0, and the Mortis engine pretty much instantly gets destroyed. Plus, of course, our Lord just hits insanely hard, but all that magical damage from everybody does help. Though, of course, the Mortis engine isn't actually an ethereal unit, even though it looks like one. It's more like just like a, I don't know, a ship floating on ethereal waters, I suppose. Kind of hard to make a comparison there. And I've always found it a little bit difficult to remember that the Mortis engine isn't actually ethereal, but I'm sure the magical damage helped there. Anyway, let's see about the battle. The bounce power is in our favor very, very slightly, and the enemy is quite surrounded here. The Blood Knights, as we said, have gotten charged by all those Skinwolves and Fleshhounds and have to either somehow charge through all these Chosen and Berserkers, or, well, die. And I think that they're going to die surrounded, as they are. 75 melee attack between that Van Helsdance Macabre upgraded. Oh, Oh, that's interesting. I never thought of doing that before. Huh. Using both Van Hale's Danse Macabre upgraded and unupgraded at the same time. Oh, wow. Game. You've taught me something about playing vampire counts, which is fairly rare considering how much I play, how often I play them. It's probably a very niche thing to do. I mean, and obviously this is how we normally stack auras, like an upgraded version versus a regular version of the aura, because that's the only way they stack. But I never thought about doing that specifically with the Danse Macabre, which is pretty nice. Anyway, let's see what we've got going on. Our Lord is now dueling Vlad. They're both at about even in terms of their HP, but our Lord should be hitting quite a bit harder, and will be hitting even harder when the abilities of his are back up and running. In addition to that, we are looking like we've destroyed pretty much everything on this flank. Those Blood Knights are just about out of the picture and are melting away. So we will be able to either move the rest of our forces over on this side to help out the center line, wherein we still have to kill that dragon, plus those Vargeists and Terrorgeists, or Dragon Lord on Dragon, and Vlad, or we could send them to head off the enemy reinforcements, which have arrived. Fortunately, we do have a minor amount of reinforcements ourselves in the form of the garrison, which we're just going to put near this rock, and we're just going to hope that they can distract the enemy long enough for us to kill the rest. And hey, there's that Vargulf as well. Maybe we can kill that thing. Well, here we go. We got 2 lords to kill, and of course if the enemy loses them here, they're going to have a pretty bad day. Vlad has called some bats to him, as well as his thrall of a vampire lord to help him out, but I'm not sure it'll be enough. Oh, it will knock our own lord away though, and we do have to be careful about sending or keeping our Chaos Sorcerer in the middle of this fight, as that is quite dangerous. We're going to pop a glittering robe on our units here. Or actually, wait, that's not a glittering robe, that's a Flaming Sword of Ruin. Slightly similar effect, and of course we're a Sorcerer of Fire, not of Metal, so that shouldn't be surprising either. Oh, and our Lord's at half HP now, but the enemy Lord is just about done. A couple more hits should see him off. Alright, come on, we still have Vlad to turn to. There we go. Vlad's called for help, but it wasn't all that much, and now we're gonna go after the man himself, who's actually in pretty bad shape as well, and we've actually cited his healing cap. He's screwed. If we've already seen his healing cap, he's not going to survive this. I guess we just hit way too hard, and frankly, Gulgast is just hitting harder, getting more of that Giver of Ruinous Glory or whatever, Furious Glory. I prefer Ruinous Glory myself, from our Chaos War Shrine. And of course all the units hitting Vlad at the same time. We also have the additional units that are fighting up here. They're about to overwhelm our own garrison forces, but we should be able to do some damage to them as we finally saved up enough to get that Sword of Khorne going right into the middle of that pile of units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units basically destroyed with that one spell. Not a lot of units remaining, and it looks like our reinforcements will not actually need all that much help. Vlad's also nearly done for here. And Gulgast has gotten a lot of good battles throughout this campaign. I'm very happy with him. I gotta give him status of 3rd favorite after Valkia and after Harald. And there we go, looks like he finally brings Vlad down, and it does look like Gulgast got the kill as well. Very, very nice, man. Those stats are insane. Well done, buddy, and you can get a little bit of healing for yourself out of that Potion of Toughness. There is still a Terrorgeist and some units left out of Vlad's army, but it looks like really not all that much. That guy got air. Maybe he wanted to turn into a Terrorgeist. Alrighty, and as we can see, the Terrorgeist is now crumbling away. One hit from our Lord would probably finish it off if he could just make it through the battle line, but it looks like he doesn't need to as the enemy melts, and it looks like the reinforcing army is going to melt as well. We were going to hit it in the back with our Skin Wolves and our Chaos, or our Flesh Hounds rather, but it looks like that Chaos Sword, or that Sword of Khorne rather, did way too much damage, and between both of the enemy Lords dead and their elites, they're just not going to hold. Well done to the garrison, though, and all of those corpse carts popping off at the same time. Almost got another piercing bolts of burning cast on the enemy, but it looks like it wasn't even needed. Well done. Vlad goes down, and the Day of the Dead looks to be a failure for the vampire counts. Alrighty, well, it may be a Day of the Dead, but at the end of that day, the dead will not rise again, or at least not many of them. Unfortunately for us there, Vargeist's Mortis Engine, Vargulf, and Banshee, as well as Vlad himself, did come back, but most of their army is done for, and it looks like they won't be able to do anything towards or against Gulgast. Also quite impressed how many of these Chosen of Khorne they were able to kill. I wonder what exactly was the thing that was doing the killing. The Terrorgeist did get 13 kills. We got 24 on the Black Knights. Oh, 39 on the Banshee. Yeah, but that was a reinforcing army, so that was probably against these garbage little garrison units. Also, 224 kills on that one unit of Chosen of Khorne. Very, very nice. Only 31 on you. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but they were probably blocked by another unit. Anyway, let's heal up a little bit. Let's see. These guys should back off. And will we get attacked again? Ooh, you've backed off in the wrong direction. I think we should be able to auto-resolve the rest of that army to death. And hey, if it isn't Thragi. He wants to take this territory, and I'm perfectly happy to let him do so, since we were going to trade it all to him anyway. Not necessarily just to him, of course, but since the rats don't seem to want to take territories, and we don't have much of a choice. I wonder if these guys will give us Talabaim now. Ally mobilizes towards settlement Worldwalkers. Yeah, that's great for them. Blue Vipers destroyed. Ally begins outpost. Ambush foiled for Gulgast. Yeah, because he got attacked. Ungrim got an ambush. Undeath Descendant for Gulgast as well for defeating Vlad. And let's see, Constructor. Summoner sees Plague, Crudenwald, Ally occupies settlement. Oh, yes, they've taken... No, wait. Have they taken Longyi? They have indeed taken Longyi. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I wonder which of them is going to take Khorne. Someone receives Plague, yada yada yada. That's all great, and we're good. And ooh, our ambush. Rel, looks like you're going to have some fights next episode. Both Altherlos and Durthu are in range of Rel, so we know exactly what we'll be doing next episode. Beautiful. Always happy about that, since we won't be having to look too hard for any battles. In addition to that, we may be able to get something else with the dwarfs. Maybe, we shall see. Huh, Blorg. That's a decent amount of black works. Yeah.
Lord of Khorne.
Alrighty, well, everything's coming up Khorne so far, and hopefully it will continue to do so, but it'll have to do so next episode, because unfortunately we are once again out of time, and I'm gonna have to call it. Since there was more than one cinematic battle, I actually have no idea how long this episode was, so hopefully it's roughly the right time. So anyway, stay tuned next time for plenty of battles with Rel, well, at least these two battles with Rel. I'd love to see a showdown with Durthu, and whatever kind of army he has in there, plus Rel still has a lot of stuff to do in this particular area, and we'll try to find him a few more things to do as we go as well. Plus, in addition to that, we got 2 new armies coming up here, so they will be able to move out, branch out into the forests and into all this stuff. So yeah, lots more battles. Stay tuned. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.